The Spurs completely mishandled Kawhi Leonard. A pivotal moment. We are at a pivotal moment in the history of the San Antonio Spurs. If you remember, Kawhi Leonard hurt his quad, and the Spurs doctors said, Kawhi, you're healthy. You can go play. And Kawhi Leonard wasn't comfortable. He didn't want to play. And, for the record, I side with the San Antonio Spurs on this. I do. I think that Kawhi Leonard is getting paid millions of dollars. And if I'm Kawhi Leonard, I want to be on the court. It's the playoffs. I would have played. But Kawhi Leonard didn't feel comfortable playing. And this is all speculation. I don't really know. I'm not Kawhi Leonard. I understand, though, why the Spurs were frustrated with their best player not taking the court when it seemed like he was healthy enough to play. But regardless, whether you side with the Spurs or you side with Kawhi Leonard or wherever you land on the spectrum, it's pretty much undisputable at this point. And I've said this months ago, I'll say it again. The Spurs completely screwed up with the way they handled Kawhi Leonard. The Spurs massively screwed up. Do you remember the Spurs? They called out Kawhi Leonard publicly. They said he should be playing. Some of their players did. They spread rumors. They released all kinds of leaks about Kawhi Leonard. It didn't seem like the Spurs had Kawhi Leonard's back. That's concerning. So all the drama we're going through right now, Kawhi Leonard says he wants out, he wants to go to the Lakers, yada, yada. All of that drama is the Spurs' fault. Never forget, the San Antonio Spurs pushed Kawhi Leonard out. You may like it, you may hate it, but it's true. And I think it's interesting to take note that Kawhi Leonard is very quiet. He's reserved. He keeps to himself. And not in a bad way either. In a good, humble, he's got humility. He's a respectful person. What if the Spurs treated a louder player, a more outspoken player this way? What if the Spurs treated LeBron James the way they've treated Kawhi Leonard? What would happen? Wouldn't be good. It'd be a mess. And we would never hear the end of it. If the Cleveland Cavaliers called out LeBron James, his teammates called him out, it would be a massive, massive story. It'd be everywhere, and we would side with LeBron. We would side with LeBron 100%. So Kawhi Leonard, I don't know. Kawhi Leonard, to me, is leaving the Spurs. Because, again, even if the Spurs are correct, because I think, it was the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard seemed healthy. He should have played. But you can't argue that the Spurs completely mishandled Kawhi Leonard. I played quarterback, which meant that I had to work with all kinds of people. I had to work with offensive linemen and running backs and receivers. And I had a bunch of different receivers with a bunch of different personalities. And you treated every personality differently. Some receivers liked being yelled at. Hey, dig in. You got to turn upfield when you catch the ball. You got to run that route a little better. They liked being pushed. But some receivers were more touchy. Yeah, they didn't like when you yelled at them. They didn't want you to get after them. You had to baby them a little bit. And that's okay with me because you can't treat everybody the same way. And it seems like the Spurs are like, we do things this way. This is how we handle things. And you can't treat Kawhi Leonard that way, and it's come back to bite him in the ass. It's just not great. Bite him in the butt. Should have censored it. Oh well, moving on. You can't treat everybody the same way. And all I know, no matter who you are, you can't say that the Spurs didn't mishandle Kawhi Leonard. Players called him out publicly. The organization leaked out stories. There was all kinds of weird indirect quotes. Talking about someone publicly is not how you build trust and maintain a relationship. I don't know. You just deal with your baggage privately. I don't know. If my buddy was dating a girl and she made all of their private issues public, if instead of talking to him and dealing with everything behind the scenes, if she made all their drama public, I'd say, dude, you just got to walk away. You can't be with this girl. You just got to walk away from the situation, break up with her, move on. I don't know. If I'm Kawhi Leonard, I don't want to go back. I don't want to play for the Spurs ever again. And I just think it's important to, before we get into where all the fallout of this is the Spurs' fault. The reason why Kawhi Leonard wants to leave the Spurs is because the Spurs mishandled and mistreated Kawhi Leonard. Even though I think the Spurs had a great argument, they were right. I sided with the Spurs. Doesn't matter. they still treated Kawhi Leonard the wrong way. You got to know who you're working with. You can't treat everybody the same. Some people you have to handle with kid gloves. No matter who you are, talking about someone privately, calling someone out privately is not how you build a relationship. And the Spurs completely screwed up and they mistreated their best player. Thank you so very much for watching. Remember, you can subscribe to Strong Opinion Sports on iTunes, on SoundCloud, and on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube, as well as my best, most interesting clips. If you like Strong Opinion Sports as much as I do, help me grow this podcast by telling your friends about this show. Share it on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow this podcast by telling your friends. Thank you so much, and have a great day.